All right. Good afternoon, class. This is see if I can get my video up there. There I am. So this is my biggest challenge presentation. Just did a easy Google Slides presentation to talk about it. So if you've watched my face-to-face videos on my profile or anything really that I've done over this coursework, my biggest challenge has been trying to explain to leadership, trying to explain to training managers, etc., that there are more than one way to train our airmen. So my defined issue is the acceptance of new ideas and a willingness to change training methods. It's been a very frustrating journey for me over the last few years. My plan this whole time was to change our career development course. Career development course really is just some upgrade training, some different levels of training that our airmen go through. It's about a 12-month long period. They're given about anywhere from 1 to 9 volumes of reading material, which is up to like 600 pages of reading material. Some of our AFSCs do this for 24 months, in the essence of 1,200 pages of reading material. And all we're doing right now is giving them a book and saying, read this. And then we're giving them some written bubble sheet tests, some old Scantron type tests. We're manually grading those. It's really old fashioned. It's really out of date. And our airmen are suffering for it. Their scores roughly between 70 and 75 is the average score, and our airmen are way smarter than that. They know their jobs a lot better than that. It's just the way the training is presented to them, the way that we've been tracking it, the way we've been testing them is just old. It's antiquated and out of date. So it's my biggest challenge has really been trying to explain that to the stakeholders to get that through people's head for them to understand. So some of my limiting factors I wrote in here, old hats. So I don't mean that in a derogatory term. I'm an old hat. I'm a veteran, 26 years in. I've been doing this a long time. But you can learn. You can do new things. A lot of what's happening is our training managers come back. We have one in every unit. We call them squadrons. These people will get hired on just because of how long they've been in the Air Force. Not specifically as to it's their forte or it's their passion. It's just an open job that a veteran can get hired into as a training manager because they got trained, so they must be okay with it. Not definitely true. My current training manager is a retired Navy lieutenant colonel. He was, and we're Air Force, so there's already a separation there. He has no formal education in training or education. When I talk to him about airmen that have failures and that kind of stuff, I talk to him about differentiation. He's never heard of these terms. He doesn't understand it. I talk to him about, sitting down with the airmen and finding out how they learn or what would help them, how they've learned in the past and what was successful for them. And this is just all foreign concepts to him. So these people that are hired into these positions are not good at it, or it's not something that they would want to do. So it's tough. There's new technology out there. It's hard to get them to understand that. That's part of my challenge is teaching them new technologies because they're afraid to use it. It's something new that they have to learn. It may not be in their job description. These are federal jobs. So if it's not in their PD, they don't want to do it. And then, of course, change management. That's a huge deal for any of us that are trying to implement change, trying to make it feel like there's a need for this change. And really, my attack on that is to show them what the airmen's feedback is. So that's why I made a video with just airmen and just I tried to get them to talk about their frustrations, tried to get them to talk about what they don't like about what the training is now, how they feel it can change and get better. And so that's what my attack is on this. My audience is the leadership at the different levels. My commander has the buy-in. He really likes my ideas. He wants to implement, but I've got to get those people down on the levels in the trenches, so to speak. The training managers and the flight leadership. Those folks have to be able to implement this stuff and be able to use it. So there's going to be a lot of training involved. There's going to be a lot of professional development. And people right now, we just don't have time for it. So that's what's hard to get them to do. So it's going to have to be a little bit forceful, but ultimately it's going to be in the best interest of their airmen and them. they're going to get more qualified airmen, more qualified workers and technicians. That's what we want, ideally. Our training leaders in each Air Force specialty, those folks. So each specialty has a schoolhouse that does what we call apprentice training or 3-level training. Those folks would have to come on board with this. And I've already been working with them. I've talked to a few folks that work at what we call the schoolhouse, and they are on board. They are trying to develop new technologies and training in their classrooms. So really what I want to do is long-term development that follows on with their on-the-job training when they get to their next assignment. ISTE standards. So for this video, the ISTE standards for educational leaders falls under visionary planner, which I feel like that's sort of me. Engage education stakeholders in developing and adopting a shared vision for using technology to improve student success informed by learning sciences. So this is what I'm doing. I'm showing these folks how this can be done, the best way it can be done. I feel like I'm doing pretty good with it. The videos that I've shown in my e-portfolio show the passion that I have for actually getting this stuff across to folks. I think this particular standard speaks volumes, and it works with the level of effort that I've had over the last year and a half, the last 18 months that I started this program and been going through this. I've used every single lesson and every single class that I've taken to try to progress my plan of action on this. So I'm pretty passionate about it. So my way ahead is first retirement. Okay, that's a big deal. So my way ahead for this is I am retiring. So it's going to be tough. I've got to find future change agents. I've been trying to mentor some folks to get them on board to grab the same kind of things. I'm nervous that this won't go through, that people will allow it to just fall by the wayside, which is a reality. When you're passionate about something and you have to leave that organization, that's just something that can happen. They could be waiting for the moment for me to leave so they can make this go away, because it's work on their part. But hopefully these young folks that I'm mentoring as change agents will keep it going. For me, one other challenge that I'm going to have is letting it go. Allowing somebody else to work the work that you've been doing for the last 18 months is tough. It's tough, but it's something I'm going to have to do. So that's all I've got for my biggest challenge video. I hope you enjoyed. Again, super excited that this class is ending and my journey is ending, but my education journey will not. And I will continue to use this stuff for the time being. Thank you.